Hey, good afternoon, guys. Today I'm going to do a presentation on the CROW system. It's the Common Remotely Operated Weapon Station. You might have seen it on some of the Army trucks, the MREPs that come through here. It's the joystick controlled crew serve on the top of the weapon. MRAP stands for Mine Resistant Ambush Protected Vehicle. You need to know that before I start off. It's something important that I'm going to give in this speech. Okay, ever since the invention of the MRAP, the turret gunner's safety has been paramount. It's been foremost in our thoughts. Is the gunner keeping his head down around snipers? Are there low-hanging power lines? Is he paying attention? Is he awake? Just earlier in our deployment, we had Corporal Lowry die from being in a turret and hitting into power lines. Instead of asking these questions, we should probably just move the gunner inside of the truck. Now, ever since the invention of the MRAP, there's been increased safety for everyone involved in these convoys except for the turret gunners. These MRAPs protect us against IEDs, small arms fire. They have climate control, which keeps us protected against heat injury. There's some reasons why gunning is unfavorable. One, you're exposed to the elements, dust, dirt, debris. If you've ever seen Wozdrag when he got back off of patrol, that sunburned face he has, that's another reason to move the gunner inside the turret, or inside the vehicle. Thrown objects, being a gunner is uncomfortable. Sometimes there's no seat, and if you do have a seat, it kind of sucks. You're sitting there rocking back and forth and trying to move the turret around. It's difficult. You have to wear the gunner's restraint. Not only is the gunner's restraint not too comfortable when worn underneath your flak, but say you got injured, I have to not only get your flak off now, I have to get the gunner's restraint off as well. It just takes a little bit more time than it normally would. Gunners are at more risk in rollovers. Gunners' center of gravity a lot higher than everyone else's, so when a truck rolls over, they're falling from like 12 feet instead of you just falling from like 6 being sitting down inside the truck. What we're doing by keeping the gunners up in these turrets is we're wasting the capabilities that we already spent on with the MRAPs. You spend $400,000 on a truck, and you're wasting those capabilities by putting someone outside of it. Now I'm going to go over some of the costs of the injuries or deaths of our turret gunners. One, if a turret gunner dies, that's $400,000 from their service group member life insurance. There's also a $100,000 death gratuity, so that's $500,000 without personal capital added into that or human capital added into that. Human capital is all the training that we had for that Marine and the preparation before deployment. So you're talking about close to $1 million you spend on a Marine at the time that they get out on deployment. If someone gets permanently injured, you're paying them $28,000 a year for the rest of their life if they're at 100% disability. And these are numbers from 2005. That's older stuff, so it's probably up around $30,000 now. Now I'm going to go over why the CROW system is better than having a guy up there in the turret. One, there's no true presence outside the vehicle. No one's out there to be able to be shot by a sniper or, get dirt or something thrown at them from a local. The camera technology is actually better than our eyes. One, you can zoom in up to 3 times just like our G-Boss. 2, it's got night vision. 3, it's got thermals. And 4, the camera is equipped with one of the infrared lasers that range finds as well, so you can point position people from inside the vehicle. It's got pinpoint accuracy. There's going to be less user error. Instead of having to worry about racking the weapon back, because some people just really aren't strong enough to do it, the machine does it automatically. It's good for Marines and civilians when there's less user error, because one, the Marine's not getting in trouble for letting off a negligent discharge, and 2, all the civilians are alive because it didn't happen. You're able to switch out between being a gunner and being a passenger a lot more easily with the CROW system. If, say, the gunner had to use the bathroom, the gunner has to either go in a bottle inside the MRAP or ask someone else to switch out the harness, and they have to get out and it's a lot more of a process than if you're just like, hey man, sit here, use the gunner turret while I get out and go to the bathroom. And the Crow system's also retrofit capable. So that's saying not only does it work on our new MRAPs and MATVs, but it works, you can mount it on a Humvee and a 7-ton as well. So back in the rear we could train with these when we go to the field and stuff. And these are very similar to video games. I know a lot of you guys played video games before you joined the Marine Corps. So if you're pretty good at video games, you don't need as much training when you come in. All you have to do is know how to use a joystick pretty much. Alright, to conclude, it doesn't really take a genius to figure out that a human life is worth more than $90,000. And that's how much the Crow system ends up costing. After costs with training and insurance, you're looking at $1 million for a human life. It's time for the Marine Corps to get on board and take the turret gunners and move them into the truck. Thanks for listening to my presentation. That's it. Can't get